What's up? I'm back again, and today I want to talk about a common conversation, a common insult, just commonality in the overall internet, especially collective, for lack of a better word. And this issue isn't necessarily the discussions themselves, but what's really going on, and that is mommy and daddy issues. So, a bit touchy for a lot of people these days. Shout out to the people that it's not. I'm super happy for people that had good parent experiences. I was young and already knew that I was gonna have whatever type of relationship I was gonna have with my parents. And I'm glad I've made it to the point where I feel neutral about both of them and can also be aware of their ways that I don't appreciate. Took some time, took some work, but I'm here. And I would like many other people to get to a neutral place when it comes to themselves, their parents, and, everything that they've learned from those dynamics. But to get into the topic, and again, I'm just scratching the surface, just wanting to start out with conversation starters or point out what I notice. And the best way to deal with mommy and daddy issues is to become your own mommy and your own daddy. And in the midst of scrambling around through the wounds and trauma and things, generational curses that flow through your bloodline and your genetics, it's probably hard to be like, how the F word am I going to do that? How am I going to be my own parent? I've already had parents and they did XYZ to me. They weren't this, they were this. That's just a whole lot of mind chatter that's going to drain you. But it's all part of the process. I will say that. But once you get to the point where you're sick of going through the same things, remember this. You are fully capable, and we are all fully capable of reparenting ourselves, because we know what we lacked as a child. We know what we wanted as a child and didn't get. We know what we needed as a child and didn't get. So there's the first qualification. The second qualification, which will really be the first one, you're alive. If you're watching this video, you're alive. So every day you're alive, and every moment you're alive, that's the moment you can make a choice to reparent yourself. Because I was scrolling on, I believe, Threads the other day, probably a day or two ago, and this lady, I don't want to call her a girl because I don't think she was young, like that young. So this lady, she posted that, the common, is it a commandment, honor thy mother and father? She posted that there's deeper implications to that also means to honor the balance of feminine and masculine energy within yourself. And if you're watching this video, I'm not 100% sure if everyone is aware of the fact that we are all born with equal amounts of feminine and masculine energy. Those words are triggering to people, so maybe something more neutral like yin and yang, or peanut butter jelly, like complements. They're not opposites, but they go together, complementary. But I thought that clarification and that, diving a bit deeper into, common practices that we all know, even if you've never read the Bible, if you grew up in a, the Bible Belt or a churchy environment, you know the commandments, and you know to honor thy mother and father. And I appreciated that. I wish I would have screenshotted or something so I could post it on the community board or something, but you have to stop giving your power away to other people, even the ones that, signed up to play a significant role in your life and they didn't show up. You still have to go on, especially if you keep waking up every day. So, I wanted to speak on this because I just feel like it's so tacky, the conversations that people have. Like, it's so easy to say, oh, you just got mommy issues. Oh, you just got daddy issues. Go heal. Okay, what about the people that want to do that? Y'all don't ever seem to have the advice for them. And that's what I don't like about a lot of exchanges on social media. Like, everybody loves to use the language, but you don't even have the information or knowledge to share to back up your, I'm trying to think of a word that's less spicy, by the way. You're just tacky ass, mean ass, rude ass, irrelevant ass, useless ass response. So I'm hoping to at least give a little bit of advice, or at least a starting point to how you can begin to reparent yourself. So honor thy mother and father within the self. Okay, honor the fact that you have a feminine side, which is all about creativity, intuition, rest, stillness, magnetism, your inner world. That's femininity. Okay, and that's not associated with just females. Okay, and then masculinity is all about taking action, using logic, establishing structure, enforcing boundaries, barriers to let people know where things begin and end. The physical body, your physical world, that's the masculine or the yang aspects of self. So when you have a more defined breakdown of what it is, it's easier. It can become easier. That was an easier way for me, I'll say that, to really let go of the physical aspect of who my parents are/were. To realize the qualities of both roles, and then how I can embody them for myself. And then once you get in tune with the energies, feminine and masculinity, and you start to use them in accordance with each other for the self first. Now, granted, of course, relationships outside of yourself help you with these things, because you might play a feminine role in some certain situations and a masculine role in another, but you're always going to have to do both for your own self in your own life. And then I definitely recommend getting familiar with those things first before trying to apply it to the actual wounding and the actual things that you may have been through or not been through, because it can get very... One second. Small interruption, but like I was saying, I definitely recommend learning what these things mean, and slowly but surely building a practice to where you feel safe doing those things, before you try to tackle the deep wounding and things. And another thing I would recommend, if it's of your capability, to find other people to be there for you, because a lot of stuff can come up and you might lose your mind. before it's necessarily time to do so. Okay, and I give this advice after, you know, awakening to certain things and then just diving into it. It can be done, but I wouldn't recommend jumping, diving straight into it and having no idea. Because, you know, you might keep circling on a loop and that loop might catch you one time. But, and that's not to bring any fear, you know. There's ways to do it by yourself if you prefer. And I would say definitely curate a good spiritual practice to have good spiritual hygiene. If you're going to do any spiritual work by yourself, have a practice and have a down pat. Have people you can lean on. You know, because you might touch on something and it might take you out. It might take you, meaning like, it might take a lot of your energy and you might find yourself in a time period where, you know, you can't live a normal life. And you just have to have understanding, helpful people around you, if and when that ever happens. And then realize that forgiveness is for self and not for anything outside of self. Forgiveness is definitely a feminine process, meaning it's something you have to process in your inner world, and you'll have to reestablish yourself from the inside out first. Because forgiveness is definitely not easy, but it's also not agreeing that you deserved to have the parents you had and endure what they did, or to lose your parents and not have them, and, you know, have to go through an alternative route of having parents. You know, I hope this video reaches whoever it needs in whatever situation. But I definitely wanted to get on here and at least touch on this for people. Don't let the nasty, negative Nancy's get in the way. You know, don't engage in the stupid discussions online. Like, if you don't feel like you have any good experience or any knowledge to speak on when it comes to mommy and daddy issues, I would just suggest muting those words or just going on about your life. Because, you know, we're all trying to get home. We're all trying to empty our heart space, to keep it light as a feather. That's what we're all doing, even for those of us that have forgotten. And for those of us that may have to do it in a different lifetime, in a different way. But, just a quick little share on that, because that's just nothing to go below the belt with people about. You know, you can't control stuff like that, but you can definitely grow from it and heal from it and live a life beyond it. And yeah, I just wanted to share some good words and hopefully a little bit of good advice. And if you made it to the end of the video, please sound off in the comments. You know, what does everybody say? Like and subscribe. Do you still have to click the notification bell? Y'all know. Y'all be on YouTube. So, you know, hopefully chat with you soon. Peace.